All right. So if you haven't already you made your way into a comfortable seated position, you can do that. All right. So find a comfortable seat. We're going to start with our centering. Maybe the theme as we begin here is just balancing, finding balance, right? So as you pause here, notice your body making contact with the ground. Just notice that. Notice that sensation of feeling grounded. And just keep your mind there. It's pressing into whatever you're sitting on, the legs pressing into the floor. Basically, the base of the body, the lower extremities, hips to feet. And as you notice the base of the body, start to breathe a little bit more wholeheartedly. In other words, let your mind be in the breath. Maybe breathing a little slower and deeper. Imagine that you could really feel, we don't really feel it, but imagine you could feel like the gravity pushing you gently, very gently against the ground. I mean, you can feel it, but we don't think about it in that way. So remind yourself, I am connected to the earth because gravity makes that true, right? Gravity says so. As your physical body connects to the earth, connects to the ground, imagine that your heart, you could take your heart of hearts and connect it to the heart of Mother Earth and just see how that feels in your body, what that looks like in your mind's eye. Right, so as you breathe a little deeper, a little slower, may I connect my heart to the heart of Mother Earth. This is something I say every morning on my yoga mat. Just notice how it feels to connect your heart to the heart of Mother Earth. And I'll share with you another thing I say on my yoga mat is, may I connect my soul to the infinite soul creator. And notice how that feels. To be connected to the earth and to the universe, to the infinite soul creator. And now notice your whole body, your whole being, your whole heart and mind, and all of you, all in the same place. And breathe a little slower, a little deeper. And then just stay with the breath, adding a little bit of sound, ujjayi, the ocean sounding breath. Reminding yourself that your heart is connected to the heart of the earth. So if you have a favorite moment or detail or place in nature, let it come up into your mind. The trees are looking pretty beautiful right now. And as you practice this ocean sounding breath, maybe it's more the sound of the wind through the trees that are getting ready to fall, the leaves that are getting ready to fall. Or maybe your heart really is at the ocean. But allow this, your own personal white noise machine with this ocean sounding breath. Allow it to kind of create your own little bubble, your own little slice of the earth that is safe, calm, protected, connected, grounded. And as you continue your deep breathing, let your mind scan the body, the whole body, not just the base of it. And just notice what you notice. I'm going to let you do your own scan, your own pattern, your own pace. Remembering that you are connected to the heart of Mother Earth, to the infinite soul creator. And eventually allow your body to breathe itself, letting go of ujjayi, letting go of that deep breath, and just pause. Way to do this, no wrong way. It's just, you're just being. There's no list, there's no itinerary. Notice how it feels to just be here. And as you pause here, just notice how your heart feels. And remind yourself that you rolled out your yoga mat for you. So notice if there's an intention or something that you sort of need from your practice today, or would like to receive from your practice rather. And just set a very gentle intention. And when you're ready, very slowly. So our path is very, very short. And the next thing I'm going to ask you to do, but see if you can get there really slowly. So just start to bring your chin closer to your chest, but go very slow. What if there was no destination at all? You're just moving the head slowly downward. There might be an end, there might not. You're going to find out when you get there. Good. And then just as slowly as you got there, you can start to roll your head over to one side, right? What if there was no destination? You're just kind of moving, and if there's an ending, fine. If not, well, maybe you'll keep going. But see how that the intention changes the whole thing. And then when you get there, slowly make your way down. So I feel like when we do it in this way, potentially it kind of changes the experience. So just move very slowly. Rolling your head over to one side, take a nice slow deep breath in. And then slowly down. You could even do 2 breaths for one movement. You could sort of abandon pacing with the breath altogether and just move real slow and breathe real slow. If they line up, they line up. If not, it's okay. We get caught up in the quote unquote the right way, or air quotes, the right way to do things. So let this practice be not that at all. It's you're just moving. You're just feeling, noticing, breathing. The next time your chin is to your chest, just pause there. Your arms off to your sides, and as you inhale, just gently float your arms up. You can look up if you want. Just notice how that feels to the body, and then exhale. Come on down. You can even bring your chin towards your chest or around your spine, like, a little bit of a cat and cow as you do this. So inhale, you flow your arms up. Maybe the back arches a little. And then exhale, the arms come down. You round your back. So move with your breath. Inhale to lift, exhale to round. Good. And the next time the arms are overhead, just pause there for a moment. Let your shoulders soften. Let your belly strengthen, right? So you protect the low back. And then bring your palms together and slide them down towards your heart. And just pause in prayer position. And let's begin our practice. I mean, we've begun it, but let's add a little om here. So you can listen or join me, but let's inhale together at least. Notice the vibration of om through your body. Good. And you can blink your eyes open. You can release your hands. And from here, if you're sitting on something that you can stretch your legs out. But let's warm up the legs. We were sitting for a while, so let's lie down and we'll warm up the legs and arms that way. So once your legs feel a little better, you can find your way onto your back. And I just, after like a long day, I always start like this. I bring the knees in and I rock a little side to side. So really whatever feels good to your back in this moment before we kind of do the next thing. Good. And then pausing, kind of flat on your back, and send your limbs up into the air and just start to move in whatever way would feel good to your hands and feet. My feet and hands wanted to circle, but if yours want to do something different, it's fine. If you are rotating, go the other way. So make sure you go both ways. Keep breathing. Good. And then start a little movement through the arms, right? We call this bamboo garden. So what if the wind was blowing through the bamboo? So is it a soft, gentle wind, or has it picked up quite a bit? You know, it's always changing. So you can continually change it if you want. So really just moving the limbs. That's really the only direction here. Move the limbs. Good. And then the next time, I'm sorry, you can start to pause. So let your arms and legs just float into the air again and just start to hug the belly into the spine, just to gently flatten the back out on the yoga mat, just to start to strengthen the core and breathe. Can you engage the core and let the shoulders be relaxed? That one's sometimes tricky. Can you engage your core and breathe and relax your jaw? And I'm just mentioning the places in the body that tense first typically, right? Can you relax your scalp and your forehead? Good. And then bring your limbs down. Nice work. Notice how you feel. Let your feet go about as wide as your mat is wide, knees bent, and let your knees start to drift left and right. Don't go too far yet, right? So keep it shallow, so to speak. And then after a few, then you can let the legs go further if that feels okay. Maybe the arms want to be in a different position. Maybe the arms overhead. Good. And then eventually bring your knees to stillness. You can walk your feet a little closer, arms along the body, and we'll play with this little cat and cow thing that I like to do, but also a little bit of belly strength eventually. So as you inhale, you can just bring your arms straight up towards the sky, hands up towards the sky, and then overhead. So when I do that, it arches the back a little bit. Actually, I can't do this with the couch. Hold on, sorry. The couch is in my way. I do my yoga practice in the morning the other way. So as you inhale, sorry, arms can go overhead, the back will arch. And then as you exhale, hug the belly into the spine. As the arms come down, bring your knees into your chest. So inhale, the feet will go down, and then the arms will continue up, and you can arch the back. And then exhale, hug the belly into the spine, lift the knees, arms towards the floor. So you're going to use your belly strength. And then inhale, Feet down, arms overhead, arch the back. Exhale, use your belly muscles, arms down, knees in. And that's like a lot of direction. So I'm doing it. I think it's more simple than it sounds. And I know we're all lying down, so it's hard to see the computer screen, but and there's kind of a lot to do on the exhale, but it's good to get the exhale long, right? We want the exhale to be, it can be longer than the inhale. Good. And then the next time the arms are going overhead, keep the back on the ground and then bring your arms along the sides of your body and just let your back rest, let your body rest. Good. And then from here, you can bring your arms out wide, palms on the ground. You can bring your knees in again, and that'll kind of flatten the back out on the yoga mat naturally, but maybe hugging the belly into the spine just for a little bit of extra safe measure, right? So I like to flex the feet here. And keep the knees like in, they don't have to be in 90-degree angles. It can be. I like my thighs and my calf muscles to touch, right? So it's a little more easy. But I'm going to engage the belly and I'm going to drop the knees over to one side. They don't have to go far. We're not doing our like end twist here, and then inhale the legs back up and then go the other way. Actually, it kind of does feel good to have my knees 90 degrees. So if you want your knees to be 90 degrees, you can do that. So the arms are going to help you, but see if you can do a lot of the work with the belly. You're just going side to side. So use your belly strength. Keep breathing. The exhale will lower. The inhale will bring you back to center. A little stronger twist than we usually do. Can you keep your shoulders flat against the ground? That's a big question mark, right? Like, so mine keep lifting up and I'm asking myself, can I? It's a good question. Can I? For me, what it means is my legs don't go as far, which is fine because then I'm working my core a little more, right? I get to slow down and work a little bit more on precision. Good. And then you can release feet to the floor, arms wherever you want them, feet wide apart, knees bent, and let your knees go side to side. I think the request earlier was a little core. So I can back off if you guys want. This is just the beginning of our class. It's just the warm up. So wait till you see the core. I'm just kidding. All right. So let's see. You can pause. You might want to bring the feet a little closer, and we're just gonna actually, yeah, we'll do that. You can roll over to your right side into a fetal position and just pause. And then use your left hand. You might have to kind of straighten the left leg a little bit, the top leg. And you're going to push yourself up to seated, but we're not going to go all the way yet. So go halfway, hands to the ground. And you're going to take your left knee and just swing it back a little bit. So you're going to twist. I know we usually get here, but we don't usually get here like this. I'm sorry if I just confused you all. So you're going to look over your right shoulder, relax your glutes and breathe. So another version of a twist. Good. And then from here, let's see if this is too complicated. You guys can tell me later. I'm just going to slide my right arm right back on the ground. I'm going to go onto my back, square my hips for a moment, and just rest. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to let your knees go over to the left so that you can go into a fetal position on the left side. Sorry, I languaged that one weird too. Just pause for a moment. And then start to press yourself up. Your right knee can go back a little bit. So we're in this like that hip twisty thing we usually do. So you can come up halfway or come up, sideways. Hands in front of the left knee, and you're just going to twist. You can always send your right knee further back or keep it where it is and breathe. Good. Looks good. Good. And then this time, instead of lying down again, let's sweep the hands behind, bring the knees up, and let the knees go side to side. Good. And then once again, let your knees go to the right. And we'll, oh, I tried to itch my eye, but my glasses were on. That was weird. I wear glasses all day long. I forgot they were there. So from here, we're going to bring the right forearm to the ground, kind of like what we did before. We're just getting into it a different way. You can keep your left knee where it is or send it back a little bit if you really are enjoying that hip stretch. The left arm is along the side of the body. And as you inhale, just bring the arm up towards the ear and arch the back a little bit. And as you exhale, bring the arm towards the left knee as you round, as you look down towards your knee and hand. So inhale, float the arm up, arch the back, look up. Exhale, bring the arm down, look down towards the knee. So a little bit of cat and cow. Good. And then when you're ready, you can kind of lift up, hands behind you, knees back to where we're used to. Let them go side to side a few times. And then we can go the other way. So knees to the left. I've been really trying to find alternative ways to do cat and cow. So I think I'm getting some different ones here. So same thing. I like to do this with the forearm on the ground, right arm along the right side of the body. And as you inhale, sweep the arm up towards the right ear and arch the back. Exhale, arm towards the leg and look down towards the knee. So you're rounding your spine. So inhale, the arm comes up, shoulder opens, you can look up. Exhale, arch, or sorry, round the back. So move with your breath. Good. And then when you're ready, you can release. Hands or forearms behind you. The knees can come up and allow the knees to go side to side. Good. And then from here, you can come back up to seated. Oops. My headset is no longer attached. Let's see. Sorry, Sorry, I'm fighting with my mic. There we go. I thought I turned it off. I didn't, so I'm just muttering to you guys, to myself. All right, let's come up to standing. Let's just do it. Okay. Is my head cut off? No. All right. So let's move the feet around a little bit. So you can shift your weight over to your left foot. Ball of the right foot can stay on the ground, but you're gonna lift the heel and start to circle. If you need to hold on to something or to hips, really whatever feels good. And just notice how this feels. I just realized I was rushing. So can you slow it down? Are you breathing? Go the other way. Good. And then switch sides. So shift your weight to the other leg and same thing. Keep breathing. Good. You can go the other way. Good. And you can bring your feet a little wider. And I know we did a lot for the shoulders, but we did a little bit of side bending warm up, but not a whole lot. So bring your feet maybe as wide as your yoga mat is wide, the skinny one. I'm on 2, but a little wider than hips and shoulders. And we bring like not as wide as warrior two. You can bring your right arm. We'll do the right arm first. So you can bring the right arm. We're gonna do those big circle things we do sometimes. So you bring your arm up and then slowly sweep it down. Just a really big circle and bring it back up. I always need to pause to get my balance so I don't get dizzy, and then I do it again. So we'll do 3 with this arm in one direction and 3 same arm other direction. So when you've done 3, go the other way. And just notice how the side body feels, right? Before we were doing a little bit of side body, but we had the hip stretch involved. So now we've kind of eliminated that. Good. And then when you feel complete, you can release and just notice how your arm feels. Notice how your side feels. All right. And my left side is yelling at me. So let's do the other side. So circles, 3 slow, big circles with the left arm. Just notice all the little details. 3 in one direction with this arm and 3 in the other direction. And whenever that feels good, I'm not so good with counting, but you know, when it feels like I'm ready to be done with that. So when you're ready, you can step your feet a little closer together and notice how you feel. All right, my left shoulder is not yelling at me anymore. Fun. All right. So let's move a little more. So we got the feet warmed up, we got the hips warmed up, we did the movements of the spine. Mostly. Yeah. Yeah, let's say we did. So come up to the front of your yoga mat. Because we're going to use the space behind us. We're going to use the whole space here. So clear your space. If you have blocks, you can move them out of your way. But let's start in mountain. So feet hip distance. Tailbone drops towards the earth. Heart lifts up towards the sky. Right? Crown of the head lifts up, but the shoulders are nice and relaxed. And as you inhale, let your arms start to float up. Take your right hand, grab your left wrist, and give a little pull over to one side. You can come back up. Other hand, other wrist, give a little pull over to the other side. Good. You can come back up. And as you exhale, let's do a little swan dive. So you can hinge at your hips, fold over the legs. Inhale, nice and slow, rise up to a flat back. Remember how slowly we did those neck rolls earlier? What if this was the same? That it didn't matter what the end destination was. Let's do 2. But really like how it felt to get there. Good. And let's come back up. So you can bend your knees. Inhale to reverse your swan dive. Nice, strong through the legs. There we go. And then exhale. You can bring your hands to your hips. Sorry, I paused there. Bend your knees and step your left foot back into warrior 1 or high lunge, whatever we want to call it today. Good. So hips point forward, or the ASIS, anterior superior iliac spine. It's right here. As you inhale, sorry, I won't study the whole time. You can bring your arms up and open your heart, relax your shoulders. Keep breathing. Good. As you inhale, lengthen your front leg. If your back heel is spun at an angle, you might need to lift up for a second. So we're going to lift the back heel, lengthen the front leg so everything's nice and tall. And then as you exhale, sink your heel down, and we're going to go into warrior 2. So turn your torso sideways and shift right into warrior 2. It's a little tricky transition. So inhale, let's come out of it for a second. Lengthen the legs, float the arms up. Exhale, bend your knee, sink right into warrior 2. Good. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift up, and as you exhale, think of yourself like a piece of paper like floating down to the ground, or like a parachute. Maybe that's nicer. Just like parachute right into your warrior 2. Yeah, as softly as you can. Let's do it again. Inhale, lift. And you're going to parachute your limbs and your knee right into warrior 2. This time, let's pause. So you want to maintain that lightness of a parachute and that strength. Remember earlier you connected your heart to the heart of Mother Earth. It's still there, still connected. So you've got this strength, this support, this groundedness, but can you have lightness too? Good. And then lengthen your legs. You can float your arms down, take a little break. Do what you need to do. And then we'll do our little movements through here. So you can bend your knee. We'll do lateral angle first. So you can bring your right forearm to the thigh, bring your left arm past the left ear, and find whatever version of lateral angle would feel good to you, right? Some people like to use a block and they like to put their hand in front of the leg. I like to keep my forearm on the thigh. So keep breathing. I like to play with little movements in the shoulders, right? Like maybe just ever so slightly rolling the shoulder back and looking up and then rolling the shoulder down. But your body might appreciate a different little micro movement. So find out what would feel good. And then eventually sweep your left hand towards the floor. You can lengthen your leg as you bring both arms up overhead. So come all the way up, arms overhead. Sorry if I did that a little fast. And then exhale, bend your knee again. Warrior two, parachute your limbs down. They're floating slowly, slowly. Good, let them float all the way down. And we're going to transition to warrior one again. I always need to move my back foot closer. I don't know, like it worked on the way in, but on the way out, it doesn't work, the stance for me. So you can pivot on the back foot and face forward. So your hip bones, all I want to call them now is ASIS, because that's what we call them in lab. So bring the arms up when you're ready. Breathe, relax. I should teach an anatomy and physiology yoga class where I only use yoga terms. Stay tuned for that. And when you're ready, you can hinge forward, hands to the legs, step forward and go right into a forward fold. Be nice to yourself, right? Be nice to your back. I always think of forward folds as such like nice self-care type of things, right? You can bend your knees, get the hamstrings out of the equation. Just hang heavy. Your body works so hard to keep you upright. It really does. So now just let it be upside down. Let it relax. Let it rest. Let it dangle, hang. Good. And this time, let's come out of it with a roll. So you're going to bend your knees, keep your chin tucked. And you're going to just come up bone by bone. One stacks on top of the next. Chin is the last thing to lift. And when you get there, just pause, notice. All right, and let's do the other side. So warrior two. I'm sorry, we'll start with warrior one, but actually, no, that's not true. We're going to start with mountain. The grounded meditation really helped me deal with my too much chocolate this afternoon, but it's kicking up every once in a while, the speediness. So palms face forward. Try a smile, maybe. Belly draws in, heart lifts up, shoulders relax. And as you inhale, just real lightly float your arms up. What if there was no destination? There's no mirror in front of you. There's no right way to do this. You're just feeling through it. And then swan dive, fold slowly. Let your arms feel like they're parachuting down towards the ground. Inhale to a flat back, lengthening legs, arms, spine, shoulders press away from ears. And exhale, fold right back into your forward fold. And inhale, flat back. Lengthen legs, arms, spine. And exhale, fold. Bend your knees. You can reverse your swan dive and come all the way up. Arms overhead. And as you exhale, you can bring your arms down to your hips or hands to your hips as you bend your knees. right foot steps back, high lunge or warrior one. Right, so you can float your arms up if you want. So just make sure you're doing the opposite side as before. That's one downside to me not being in person. I can't go, hey, didn't you do that side? So just make sure it's the other side. All right, so keep breathing. Relax your shoulders. Deepen the breath. Belly hugs into the spine. You want to protect your low back. Good. And then as you bring your arms down, we're going to do that tricky little thing where we lengthen the front leg and lift the back heel up. So it's going to work with balance a little bit. Actually, I think before we did it with the arms up. So let's bring the arms back up. And then you can spin your heel down, turn your body to the long side of your yoga mat, sideways, warrior two. So that was a long-winded way of saying, now move into warrior two. So inhale, lengthen your leg, arms go up. Exhale, bend your knee, arms parallel to the ground. Good. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. This time, can you come back to that visualization that your hands are floating down like parachutes? Soft. Let's do that one more time. I'm gonna really ground this metaphor. I'm gonna bring it right into the ground. So when you're ready, just pause there, look past your left hand, keep breathing. Can you have both? Can you have strength and groundedness? Can you be steadfast and soft and light, like a parachute? Good. And if you need a break, you can take a break. I'm a big fan of breaks. Leg lengthens, arms release. And then we'll do lateral angle whenever you're ready. So you can bend your knee, maybe the hand to the thigh, maybe the forearm, maybe a different variation. And the right arm can go along the right ear. Find a stretch on the right side that feels good to you. Keep breathing. Any little micro movements, right? I had some that I mentioned that I was doing on the other side, and this side is different to me, right? I'm sometimes more tight on this side. So it requires some like different attention. So see what you need, because sometimes these movements are like inarticulatable. Is that a word? No, they're hard to articulate. They're hard to explain, right? So, but it really comes from a place of just kind of trusting your body, listening. Good. And then when you're ready, you can come back up. Hey, can I see a thumbs up or thumbs down? Did we do reverse warrior? Did we do this one? Thumbs down. Okay. That's funny. In my mind, we did it. Okay. Let's go back to warrior one. So if you're like me, need to sneak the back foot closer, you can do that. Try not to fall over like me. And we're going to shift right back into warrior two. So your hip bones point straight forward. Your belly draws in. And just for the fun of it, let's bring the arms up. Open the heart, relax your shoulders. I always love how open the heart feels in this shape, right? I love it. So keep breathing. And whenever you're ready, the hands can come to the front leg or however you want to kind of get out of this. Step the feet together and then right into a standing forward fold. If you're someone whose body still really enjoys downward facing dog, you're welcome to do that now. There was a time when I didn't like getting through a yoga class without doing it. Now forward folds are my favorite. Keep breathing, keep softening where you can. Add little movements if that would feel good. And whenever you're ready, if you're in down dog, you can step your hands and feet together. Eventually, we're going to come back up to standing. But let's roll up. So you can bend your knees and bone by bone. Good. And you can come all the way up. I don't know if anyone read that book, Bird by Bird by what is the woman's name? It'll come to me. You guys might already know it. But anyway, there's a line in it where she says, bird by bird, buddy, bird by bird. And every time I say bone by bone, I have to have a lot of self-restraint not to say bone by bone, buddy, bone by bone. Anyway, it's a really good book. Bird by bird. I'll think of the author by the end of the class. All right, let's balance a little bit, right? I said that theme would be balance because I know I needed it. And balance strengthens the core. It's a really good way. It's like a sneaky way to strengthen the core because I feel like, I don't know, we don't notice it as much as when we're lying down and doing crunches and things. All right, so find mountain, find your balance on 2 feet. We're gonna play with a little tricky one. Oh, sorry, June. Make sure there's no cat underneath your foot before you start balancing. So if you need to hold on to something, shift over to a table or a chair or a wall. All right, so find your balance on 2 feet first. Let's start with hands in prayer. Eyes focused out in front of you or down a little bit. You can shift your weight over to your left foot. So you're kind of redistributing the weight. So now your center of gravity is right over the left foot. Let your right heel lift. Am I mirroring you? I think I'm mirroring you. Yeah, yep. All right, good. Sorry, I had to get that straight in my mind. So from here, you can play with bringing your knee up. If you want to bring your hand someplace else, you can. But you're going to bring your knee up and then slowly lower it down. I know it seems like we're going to do tree, but you're just going to bring the knee up and down. So if you want to know what you're doing, you're flexing your hip and you're flexing at the knee. So bringing your knee and hip into flexion. And the next time you're there and you're at a 90-degree angle, you can just pause there. Right? Sometimes it's fun to spin the leg out at an angle. I don't know what to call this right now. So your shin bone is at a diagonal. Does that make sense? And then take your hands and turn them up. Good. You can even bring your arms out a little bit and breathe. There's a name for this. I can't remember what it is. Beautiful. And then you can release. That wasn't actually what I wanted to teach, but somehow that happened. Shake it out. Don't worry, we're going to do another one, but we're going to do this one first. All right, so find your balance on 2 feet first and do the other side. So shift your weight over to the other foot. I don't know which one I did or didn't do. Yeah, hands wherever you want them, and just start playing with bringing the knee up and lowering it down. Make sure the belly is doing more work than the back. And the next time the knee is lifted, you can pause there. Maybe it's at a 90-degree angle. You can also, I like to take the knee and turn it out to the side and the foot goes in, right? And maybe the arms come up. So it's kind of the opposite of crane arms, right? Crane arms are like, it's not totally the opposite, but the palms are opposite. My words are failing me. So keep breathing. We all look like statues, right? So if we were at a yoga place, the yoga studio, sometimes they have these, the deities with all the arms. So imagine you have a whole bunch of more arms around you and you would be the statue. So when you're ready, you can release, shake it out. All right, that's fun. That was not what I planned to teach. And somehow that's what we did. So, all right. Perfect. Oh, I don't even know what time it is. Let me see what time it is and see how much time I have. Not that much. Okay. Let's come down to the yoga mat, belly down. Before we get there, if you want to rest in some way, child's pose or upright child's pose or down dog or a forward fold, do that. So do something that would feel supportive to you for a good, 5 or 6 breaths. And I gave you a lot of options, right? I kind of left it wide open. So make sure that your mind is settled. Like once you choose one, just tell yourself this is the right choice. And then it's like end of discussion. I know sometimes when I'm in a yoga class with too many options, my mind was going, is this the right choice? Or should I have chosen the other one? Should I switch it? Nope, just tell yourself this is the right one. Just rest and breathe. And when you do feel ready to make your way onto the yoga mat, you can make your way onto your yoga mat. So we'll do belly down. Some of you might already be there. And when you get there, you can turn your head to one side, arms where you want them. You can bend your knees and let your feet go side to side. And then let your head go the other way. Good. And then come back. I think I've been doing this one a lot lately, but I like it lately. So we're going to keep doing it. So let's do the one where you can bring your chin or your forehead to the ground and your arms along the sides of the body with the palms face down. Legs just straight back behind you. So let's do, we'll do limb by limb. Limb by limb, buddy. Limb by limb. All right. Sorry, you guys got to read that book. Bird by bird. All right. So you can curl your toes under. Press back through the heels for a moment. Kind of press your pelvis down and then uncurl the toes. And then from here, you can start to lengthen back through your right foot. Inhale, lengthen back through the toes, lift the leg. Exhale, lower it down. Keep the pelvis flat on the ground. Keep both bones of the front of the pelvis flat on the ground. Do the other side, lengthen, left leg. Lift it up, lower it down. Let's do the right arm. So lengthen back through the right arm, lift it up, lower it down. And the left, lift and lower. Good. And now let's do all the things, even the top of your head. So you're going to inhale and lengthen, toes, fingers, top of the head, everything in opposite directions. And as you exhale, everything lifts. It's a little opposite of how we did it before, sorry. So push the belly down or push the pelvis down, use your belly muscles. Everything lifts. Keep lengthening, toes away from head away from toes. Spread your fingers out in all directions. Keep breathing. And whenever you're done, you can come on down. Turn your head to one side, bend your knees. Let your feet go side to side. And turn your head the other way. Good. And from here, roll over onto, let's see, your left side. Oh, I got a cat on me. Hold on. Roll up left side. You can come into a fetal position. All right. So we'll do this strengthening for the muscles in the glutes. The cat has decided it's time to snuggle. So we're going to keep the feet together. When you go to PT, they call this like clamshell. So you're gonna keep your feet together rather. And as you inhale, you're gonna lift your right knee and then lower it. And that's it. Go slow. So inhale, knee lifts. Exhale, lower it. So keep the pace really slow and also try to keep it balanced. Like, in other words, the pace of the lift is the same pace as the lower. Good. And then you can rest. June, you're kind of blocking my thing here. And then keep your legs at about 90-degree angles, so still on your side. And now we're going to lift the knee and the foot in the same plane. So we're going to kind of imagine that they're kind of temporarily, like stuck in the shape. So as you inhale, you're going to lift the right leg up and then lower it. Go real slow. Same plane, right? Inhale, lift the right leg up and exhale, lower. We'll do a few more. I feel like when you can go really, really slow, I don't have to do as many. It's harder. And I did these this morning, so I'm already tired. So you do as many as you want. This is what my yoga practice looks like these days. And when you're done, just rest. Notice how those muscles feel. We often spend a lot of time stretching these in yoga, right? We do a few stretches for the glutes, piriformis, this area. People love to stretch them. We don't do a lot of things that strengthen them. So, right, the theme here is balance. And then you can make your way over to the other side. I'm going the complicated way so I can still face the computer, but go whichever way you want to go. You can start with feet together. I like to keep a hand in front of my belly on the floor, just so that for balance. Feet together, and you're going to slowly lift the left knee and slowly lower it down. When I first started doing these, I was not a fan. I was like, nope, doesn't work for my body. No, no, no. But often in yoga and other places, we learn that the thing that we resist the most is often the thing that's pretty good for us. We just haven't like come around to it yet. You ever feel like snagged by something? You're like, no, that can't be true. And then you're like, oh shoot, that's totally true. So anyway, I think this is a pretty good strengthener. And I did not do too many on the other side with this one but it took me a minute. You can release when you're ready to realize that I was tired because I did these earlier. So you can do as many as you want. When you're done, give yourself a little rest before we do the other one. So keep your legs at about 90-degree angles, hips and knees, and then the left leg lifts up, knee and foot, and slowly lowers down. So it abducts and adducts. Notice if you're breathing, because this is a yoga class after all. Oh, and I've reached my limit. So whenever you reach your limit, you can just rest. Good. And when you're done, you can find your way onto your back. When you get there, you can bring your knees into your chest. It actually might feel good to keep your knees together. Maybe hands are on the knees. And you just circle your knees. If you rather do this hands free, it works the core a little bit more. But you want the glutes to be relaxed. You're just kind of massaging those muscles into the ground. Some of the ones on the sides that you just strengthened. And then go the other way. Good. And then bring your knees into your chest. You can hold the knees or wrap the arms around and gently rock side to side. Still kind of giving those muscles a little massage. All right. So let's come to stillness. I have to think through this one a little bit. So here's what we're going to do. You can rest for a moment. You can bring your feet to the floor. I'm going to think through how I'm going to explain this. So basically, and you can follow along when you're ready. You're going to bring your right knee in towards the chest a little bit. So I'm going to clasp my hands around my right knee. I'm going to use my belly strength, and I'm going to lengthen my left leg parallel to the ground. So it's not on the ground, it's just parallel to the ground. And when I inhale, I'm going to release my hands and kind of shoot the right leg straight up towards the sky. And I'm going to lengthen it down and switch. Now the right one's going to do what the left one did. So keep hugging the belly. So you inhale, the left foot shoots straight up towards the sky. As the right knee comes in, you clasp your hands and you slowly lower. And I'm doing it if that's a lot of languaging. So I'm just going to do it for a moment. So keep breathing or watch for a moment. So you're probably on your left foot, shoots up into the air. The right knee comes in, you slowly lower. So this requires you to keep hugging the belly into the spine. Use your breath. Make sure your jaw is relaxed, your shoulders are relaxed. Belly doing a lot of the work, legs are definitely doing work. Iliopsoas definitely doing some work. Good. And when you're done, excuse me, sorry, I cleared my throat into the mic. You can bring your hands to your knees or maybe even the shins and kind of let your knees go out to the sides a little bit, or hands to the ankles, and start to rock side to side. So maybe slightly different than how we did it before. Good. And then you can bring your left foot to the floor. Right ankle crosses over the knee. So make that number 4 shape with the legs. So we strengthen these muscles. Now we want to give them a little stretch. Bring the knees into the chest. You can hold the left thigh if you want, or the left shin. Maybe a little movement. Just notice what would feel good. And when you're ready, you can do the other side. So you can release left ankle over right. The knees can come in, you can stretch in any way you need to. This side, it doesn't even have to look this exactly the same as the other side, because this side might be different. So maybe there's movement, or the other side with stillness, or vice versa. Keep breathing. Good. And you can release whenever you're ready. Good. And we'll do our supine twist that we almost always end with. So if you need a prop, you can grab it. Otherwise, arms can go wide, knees bent, feet on the floor. Scoot your hips to the right a little bit. Knees can come in a little or a lot, and then they can go over to the left as you turn your head to the right. So keep breathing. So rest. Reminding yourself of your meditation earlier, right? That you are connected to the earth in your physical body, but also in your heart. So if you're already connected, perhaps that can allow you to relax, to just be held. Then you can start to unwind when you're ready. Take your time, go slow. Square your hips. And we'll go the other way. So the hips can go over to the left. The knees can come in a little or a lot. And they go over to your right. And turn your head to the left. So breathe. Relax. Whenever you're ready, you can unwind. You can square your hips. And from here, the practice is yours. So maybe there's more movement, maybe there's stillness. The last thing we'll do is relaxation. So, take a minute or two to finish your practice and then set yourself up for relaxation when you're ready. And June has already decided it's time over here for relaxation. So take your time. And when you're ready, you can set yourself up for relaxation. Just making sure that you're warm enough, make sure that you're comfortable. Maybe you put your feet up or grab yourself a pillow or something. Just make sure you're comfortable. And when you get there, take a few slow, deep breaths in. I don't know if it's raining where you are, but here it's raining. And I can hear it outside. It's one of my favorite things to have happen is that when I'm getting into relaxation after a yoga practice, that I can hear the rain. So if that's true for you, just listen to the rain. There's a Peter Gabriel lyric that keeps coming up into my head. May the washing of the water make it all right, right? So, think of it like a cleansing. You connected your heart to the heart of Mother Earth earlier. And she takes care of herself, right? So there's a cleansing. You took care of yourself. You rolled out your yoga mat. You did some things. You breathed, you moved, you stretched. So allow this rest, this relaxation to be the sort of like the cleansing, the final kind of rinse. So let yourself rest. Give yourself permission to rest. Let the body breathe itself. And just practice the art of being here. So if you feel ready to come back, you can start to deepen your breath. You can add movement to fingers and toes. You can yawn or stretch. You can bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a hug. Eventually rolling over to one side. And you can press yourself up to seated whenever you're ready. When you get there, just take a moment to notice how you feel. So this is where you started a little over an hour ago, an hour and a half ago. Just sitting, pausing, noticing. Right? So do a little bit of that again, just noticing how you feel. Remind yourself of your intention. And maybe even turn it into an affirmation, right? So if you were looking for a little bit more balance and groundedness, maybe repeating silently to yourself a few times, I am grounded and balanced, or I'm safe, or whatever it is you need to hear. Just repeating that affirmation to yourself a few times. Good. And you can bring your hands into prayer position if you haven't already. You can bow your head to your heart. Just thanking yourself, sending gratitude wherever you can send gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Om Shanti, Shanti, peace, peace, eternal peace. All right, thank you so much. All right, I'm going to stop the recording.